play is the most physical play you've ever played. Every single play. You got to out-physical him. Hit him as hard as you can. Every play, baby. And let's get this one done. Trenches on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mason White-Barbo is a 4-year starter at left guard for us. He's a 2-year team captain. He's one of the hardest working, most devoted players that we have in this program over the course of the last 4 years.
You walk in every day in the building, in the weight room, at practice, in summer workouts. He just epitomizes what we're all looking for.
Despite being a 4-year starter and a 2-time captain, Mason White-Barbo's road to North Texas prominence wasn't paved with a multitude of D1 offers. Rather, it was forged through disappointment, desire, and grit.
The biggest thing against me that I had going against me in recruiting was my height. I'll never forget one day after practice, I had Kansas State coach tell me that, you know, we love the way you play, we like your talent level, we think you've got everything, but you're just not tall enough to play in the Big 12. And that hurt me. My head coach in high school, he told me, you know, you need to quit feeling sorry for yourself and realize what you do have and go play and use, you know, everything you've been told what's against you. You need to use that and channel it into how you play on the next level.
When he came out of high school, I don't think he was very heavily recruited. A lot of people are going to say he's too short. But the thing is he's as tough as they come. With an offensive lineman, there's a lot of things you can measure. But to me, the things you can't measure, like the heart and the guts, is what he has. Now, he's powerful, he's strong, he's explosive, but he's just a little bit on the short side, but he uses that to his advantage.
You know, being told what I couldn't do really made me, you know, set the goal for what I could do and to try to show people what I was capable of.
He's just straight nasty on the football field. You know, he's a guy that's out there playing the game old school, the way that Coach Mack and this program expect, especially our offensive linemen, to play. Just out there, you know, looking to create havoc, play the game with violence on every play.
You know, actually, I was talking to my mother about him. She gave him the nickname the Badger because what she said is when a badger gets a hold of its prey, it won't let go of the prey until the prey's dead or the badger's dead.
When you hear the nickname of Badger, what do you think of? If you've ever seen a real live badger, they're scary looking, they're tough, they never back off, they're tenacious, they're wild, they get after your butt. It's a scary looking animal.
You know, we talk about 4 to 6 seconds of relentless effort. That's what he plays with. He's working out there to finish people.
At the snap of that ball, you know, it's you and the other guy, and I picture it as being in a phone booth. And, you know, and it's a fight to the end. You know, only one of us can walk out of there. And that's kind of the mentality of each play.
And he's been a force around here for us on the football field for years. If you sit there and look at one of our favorite plays is running power to the right where he's the puller. I mean, he's crushed so many guys over the last 4 years, I can't even tell you how many.
That's an embodiment of our warrior mindset mentality. You know, you go out there, you're looking to break the will of your opponent. And how do you do that as an offensive lineman? You do it by physically punishing the guy in an opposite colored jersey.
I'm sure there's been plenty of defensive players in his career here before the ball was snapped and look at him and go, that guy's kind of short, he's kind of squatty, he ain't real impressive looking. I'll be fine, I can kick his butt all day long. And then he just keeps coming out and hammering you and hitting you and wearing on you and never backing off. And that's the type of young man that he is, and that's why he's such a joy to coach.
He gets in a zone in games, and you know we're going to come out on top. I mean, he is in a frenzy, a feverish pitch, and those are the big reason why we got a lot of wins around here is him being in that frame of mind and really other people follow along with it.
Regardless of maybe he's a few inches too short or maybe a step slower than a guy that would go to a bigger school, in my mind, we need 10 more Mason White-Barbos to help us win football games here.
You know, he's earned the honor of captain by really his exploits on the field, and leading by example is really what he's all about.
Well, when you get voted the captain, you know, on any stage, it's an honor. You know, your teammates came together and decided that you're one of the 4 guys out of 105 that we want to represent us. And the first year to be the only junior out of the 4 captains, it was a big honor, and it was an honor to be elected again as a senior. But with that honor, there is a huge responsibility. And, you know, in seasons that have gone like this one, you feel it.
He's been a committed part of our program from the very beginning. And to have him go out like this, it does break your heart, because nothing for nothing, he's done everything that a winner needs to do in order to be successful. And we just didn't quite get there this year.
You know, I don't want people to think that I didn't try, that I didn't put, everything I had into it. You know, I don't want to be remembered like that.
When I think of Mason Ybarbo right now, it isn't about the shortcomings and the disappointments. It's more about, what did you do? What legacy did he leave? How did you lead while you were here? Because leading is about taking people that can't take them places they can't take themselves. It's about taking young people where they're at right now and taking them to places they ought to be. And he did that as a two-time captain. He did that. And no matter what happens at the end of that day on the scoreboard, he gave us everything that he had.
At no point was this more prevalent than his junior year, as he helped North Texas realize one of its greatest turnarounds in school history, leading the team to its first bowl game in 8 seasons.
To have a year like we did last year and be so successful, and to achieve that goal, and to be playing on New Year's Day in the Cotton Bowl, to be in that moment, to be in that moment of a bowl game like that, to be in that locker room, or to be coming out of the tunnel and just see that sea of green, it's something you'll never forget, man. You know, we have moments in our lives that we could just live in forever, and that'll be one of them. I've earned a degree. I've made some great friends, and thankfully I've been able to start every single game that's been played at Apogee.
I don't know anything else but having Mason Ybarbo in the starting lineup. It'll seem so strange to go to a locker room, go to a game field, go to that sideline on game day, and not have the Badger with me.
Every moment that has happened the last 4 years on this team, on that field, I've been a part of. You can sit out there on the bleachers and those memories are still there. I can look out on that field and they're still there. I can just like it just happened. It's been special. I love this place, man. I love my school. I love my team.
This segment of Beyond the Green is brought to you by Bud Light.
Yeah, I'm gonna need 40,000 pairs of flippers, 70,000 bags of ice, 33,000 tubes of sunscreen, a cake with a lady inside, a cake with a dude inside, and then a cake with some cake inside for all the people that love some cake.
Ooh, I like them. Let's find out his tuxedo size.
Yeah, I'm back. What's that? Oh, yeah. No, it's perfect. Did I already order ice?
Bud Light is creating a town this summer, and you could go. Find out more at upforwhatever.com.
The things we own don't make us who we are, but they can be mirrors that show us what we've become, and maps that tell us where we've been. They aren't just keyboards, or costumes, or cameras. We don't collect stuff. We collect memories, and what we can't fit in our hearts, we keep safe in our homes. At Little Guys Movers, we'll help you move your memories, whatever they are, wherever you're going.
Ortho Texas is a group of orthopedic surgeons. We were all in prior practices in different communities north of the Dallas and Fort Worth area.
We are putting all our resources together to provide the patient a better, easier, more enjoyable experience.
We're coming out stronger. We're more efficient in what we do.
A group of excellent physicians that care for their patients in the utmost way. That's why I think Ortho Texas is better.
The land is big here. Vibrant cities and open skies lead the way to UNT. In our classrooms, studios, and labs, science and art converge, creativity drives innovation, and today's learners become tomorrow's leaders, inspiring one of America's great iconic college towns. All who come here create their own mark. UNT is a pantheon of opportunity, a place of transformation, a catalyst for the future.
I need you to listen to me, okay? Tell me where it hurts when I'm touching, okay?
Yeah. Dr. House is our head team ortho, so really everything musculoskeletal related runs through him. He gets the final say on return to play. He gets the final say on when a guy's done. He makes all of the decisions.
Being able to take care of a Division I athletic department is kind of a dream job. I always enjoyed sports and participated in sports, and I enjoy taking care of athletes, and it's a lot of fun. It's sometimes difficult, but it's really one of the more enjoyable parts of my practice.
The less time you spend around your orthopedic surgeon as a head football coach, the better. And it's not because you don't like him, you don't respect him. It's just like when you have more contact and more feedback and more evaluation, that means more guys are getting hurt. But when we do have a setback, or there is an injury, or there is an evaluation, that's the guy that I want evaluate my guys, taking care of my guys.
Doesn't pressure us to try to get kids back quicker than we should, and I've never had a coach do that. I mean, I know that's probably the perception to some of the fans and the public, is that probably the coaches are sitting back there trying to get us to get the kids back as quickly as possible. And I've been in professional locker rooms, college locker rooms, high school locker rooms, and honestly, I've never felt that way. I've never felt like I was having to really protect a kid from the coach.
Rex Rollins, sustained a shoulder injury, and he did the same thing last year that required surgery. Unfortunately, this year he injured the same shoulder.
To fix the injury he had last year, we had to drill some holes through the bone. Drilling those holes through the bone effectively weakens the bone a little bit, and then when he went down on that shoulder this year, he broke it through one of those holes.
This is 2 years in a row that Rex has hurt his shoulder. And after looking at it, Dr. House, how do you come back and you tell somebody that they're done?
It wasn't that difficult to tell him at this point he's done, because it's been kind of a gradual progression of I've been watching this fracture with X-rays, and have told him when I see enough healing, we'll let you go back. I've been very upfront with him that I'm not seeing as much healing as I want to, and so he understands that until I see that, he's not cleared.
And our guys, my coaches, my players really trust Dr. House and his evaluation, because if he says he can go, he doesn't need surgery, he should be ready to go by Tuesday's practice, let's go, baby. And if he needs time off, and he needs a break, and he needs a rehab, or he needs surgery, then we have to put all of our heart and soul into that evaluation and trust him.
When they walk through the door in my office, or when I'm evaluating them, my only priority is taking care of them. The majority of them, their goal is to get back to athletic competition, and my job's to help them achieve that.
If a young man can't go and he's not ready to go, even though he may not need any surgery, then I've got to have this great faith and trust in Dr. House and Dustin Hill that they're not ready to go. So I don't pretend to be a trainer or a doctor. They don't pretend to be coaches, and it sure has worked great since we took the job here at North Texas.
He is invested in these kids. He's had some of these kids as cousins and older brothers and family members of all shapes and sizes.
I really value those relationships, and I stay in contact with a lot of the former student athletes that have played here through the years, and I actually still take care of some of them as their physician.
Dr. House is first class, he's professional, he's got experience, he knows what he's doing, he's got a track record of getting guys back on the field as soon as you can within the constraints of the timeline, what it normally takes to come back from shoulder, wrist, knee, hip, ankle, whatever that surgery might be.
Ortho Texas is a group of orthopedic surgeons. We were all in prior practices in different communities north of the Dallas and Fort Worth area.
We are putting all our resources together to provide the patient a better, easier, more enjoyable experience.
We're coming out stronger. We're more efficient in what we do.
A group of excellent physicians that care for their patients in the utmost way. That's why I think Ortho Texas is better.
The things we own don't make us who we are, but they can be mirrors that show us what we've become and maps that tell us where we've been. They aren't just keyboards or costumes or cameras. We don't collect stuff. We collect memories, and what we can't fit in our hearts, we keep safe in our homes. At Little Guys Movers, we'll help you move your memories, whatever they are, wherever you're going.
The land is big here. Vibrant cities and open skies lead the way to UNT. In our classrooms, studios, and labs, science and art converge, creativity drives innovation, and today's learners become tomorrow's leaders. Inspiring one of America's great iconic college towns, all who come here create their own mark. UNT is a pantheon of opportunity, a place of transformation, a catalyst for the future.